There's a moment, quiet, sharp, unforgettable, when someone says something that cuts deeper than we expected. It could be a careless insult, a mocking smile, or that moment when someone you trusted turns their back. And in that split second, something inside you wants to explode. You feel your chest tighten. Your mind races. You want to say something, anything, just to take back control. Most people react. Fast, loud, emotionally. But that's not strength. That's surrender. You're handing over your peace to someone who probably doesn't even deserve your energy. But a Stoic does something different. They pause. Not because they're cold, but because they understand a deep truth. Your first reaction isn't always your best response. They've trained for these moments. And no, it didn't happen overnight. It took awareness, practice, and the willingness to lose a few battles to win the war within. Today, I want to share 5 emotional triggers that Stoics choose to ignore, not out of fear or passivity, but from a place of inner power. Because real strength, it's not about clapping back, it's about staying calm when the world wants you to break. And maybe, just maybe, after watching this, you'll start to see silence not as weakness, but as a weapon. Let's begin. Imagine this. You're in a meeting, you speak up, and silence. No nods, no response. Just the sound of your own words floating into nothing. Or worse, someone talks right over you, like you weren't even there. That sting you feel? That tightening in your chest? It's not really about them. It's your ego screaming for validation. Most people react. They push back, raise their voice, demand to be seen. But a Stoic does something radically different. They don't chase attention. They sit with the silence and let it pass. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor who knew a thing or two about pride, once said, "If someone treats you with contempt, it's their problem, not yours." And he's right. Being ignored doesn't erase your value. Being overlooked doesn't mean you failed. Your worth doesn't shrink just because someone else couldn't see it. In fact, that moment, that pause in recognition, is a gift. It's a chance to notice your own reaction. To ask, am I actually insulted? Or is this just my ego feeling bruised? Because real confidence, Stoic confidence, doesn't need applause. It's rooted in stillness. It shows up, speaks clearly, and walks away, even if no one claps. So next time you feel invisible, try this. Stay calm. Stay clear. And remember, your silence might just say more than their noise ever could. A friend questions your decision. A coworker laughs at your idea in a meeting. Or maybe some stranger online casually drops the word idiot like punctuation. What do most of us do? We defend, we argue. We jump to explain ourselves, to prove we're not who they say we are. But here's the thing, why? Why give your peace away so easily? Epictetus, one of the sharpest Stoic minds, once put it bluntly. If someone calls you a fool, and you're not a fool, why be upset? And if you are ... well, they just told the truth. That hits deep, doesn't it? Because in that one sentence, he dismantles our ego. The Stoic doesn't react to judgment. They reflect on it. Is it true? If yes, they thank the critic and fix what needs fixing. If not, they move on, untouched, like a mountain unmoved by wind. See, the truth doesn't need your defense. It stands, even in silence. Only the insecure feel the urge to scream back. And here's the twist. Sometimes, the harshest words teach you the most. Not because they're right, but because they reveal where your ego is still holding on. So the next time someone throws criticism your way, pause. Don't fight it. Don't fear it. Ask yourself, is this useful, or is it just noise? Then respond like a Stoic, with clarity, with calm, with nothing to prove. Betrayal doesn't whisper. It crashes through your life like a storm. Maybe it was a friend who vanished the moment you needed them most. Or someone who took your trust, your vulnerability, and used it as a weapon. It cuts deep. Not just because of what they did, but because you believed they never would. In moments like these, it's easy to spiral, to harden your heart, to build walls so high no one gets in again. But the Stoic path? It's different. It's not about pretending it didn't hurt. It's about choosing how you carry the pain. Seneca once said, "What need is there to weep over parts of life? The whole of it calls for tears." In other words, betrayal isn't some tragic exception. It's part of the human experience. And once you accept that, you stop asking, "Why me?" and start asking, "What now?" A Stoic doesn't suppress the pain. They feel it fully. They let it teach them, but they don't let it turn them bitter. They know you can't control how others behave. You can only control your response, so they accept the truth. They learn the lesson, and they move forward, not with a heart full of vengeance, but with a mind sharpened by wisdom. If someone's betrayal has left a scar, let it be a reminder, not a prison. That's how you stay free. That's how you stay Stoic. It starts small. A smirk, a rolled eye, a sarcastic jab in front of others. Or maybe someone says something designed to cut, not to your face, but just loud enough for you to hear. And your pride? It ignites instantly, screaming, "Say something." Don't let them get away with it. But here's the truth most people never learn. Pride isn't strength. Silence is. Marcus Aurelius, a man who held the weight of an empire, once wrote, "When you are offended at any man's fault, turn to yourself and study your own failings." He wasn't saying you deserve disrespect. He was reminding us that our reaction is the real battlefield. Because when you respond to an insult, you feed it, you give it power. You let it live. But when you meet it with silence, it dies, right there. No fuel, no echo, just stillness. A Stoic doesn't argue with fools. They don't match petty with petty. They rise not to shout, but to walk away with peace intact. And while others burn their energy proving a point, you conserve yours. You stay rooted, unbothered, untouched. So the next time someone tries to put you in your place, remember, you're not where they left you. You're where you choose to stand. And sometimes the strongest response is no response at all. One of the most frustrating human experiences. Being misunderstood. You meant no harm, but they took offense. You spoke from care, but they heard criticism. You tried to explain, but the door was already closed. And your instinct? To clarify. To explain again. To justify yourself into exhaustion. But here's where the Stoic draws the line. They don't beg to be understood, because chasing approval is a trap. Epictetus once said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." Sounds harsh, but it's freeing. Because what's the alternative? To spend your life rewriting your truth for every person who misreads you. To water down your clarity just to fit someone else's misunderstanding. The Stoic path is simple, not easy, but simple. Let go of needing to be seen a certain way. Let your actions speak. Let your peace explain what words cannot. Because truth doesn't need to shout. It just needs time and consistency. So next time you're misread, misquoted, or mistaken, pause. Breathe. Ask yourself, do I need to correct them? Or can I simply continue being who I am? You don't owe everyone an explanation. Sometimes silence isn't surrender, it's strength. Stay grounded, stay clear. And remember, clarity is your compass, not their approval. These 5 emotional triggers, being ignored, judged, betrayed, insulted, and misunderstood, they're not rare. They're part of being human. No matter who you are, life will test you in these ways, not once, not twice, but over and over again. But here's the truth. You don't get to control how the world treats you, but you always get to choose your response. Most people react fast, loud, emotionally, but a Stoic? They pause. They choose calm over chaos, stillness over noise, wisdom over ego. There's a saying, he who engages you controls you. Let that sink in. Because the moment you give someone that kind of power, you lose yourself. But when you respond with clarity, with peace, you reclaim that power. You walk through the storm untouched. So the next time life presses your buttons, ask yourself, do I want to react like everyone else? Or respond like the person I'm becoming? If this message resonated with you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who needs it. Hit that subscribe button for more Stoic reflections that help you stay grounded in a noisy world. Until next time, stay calm, stay conscious, stay free,